Hello there, this is DPG and welcome to Daniel's Horror Pop Podcast. And I know I haven't been around lately, I've been super busy, but I decided as a Christmas gift to my fans, I'm going to talk about a remake of a very influential slasher. 1974, Bob Clark, yes, that Bob Clark who did A Christmas Story in the 80s, which is now probably the most influential Christmas movie, did a little slasher about a killer who was inside a house, a sorority house, and was making obscene phone calls and committing murders. I'm talking about Black Christmas. And, you know, I watched it last year for the first time and I really enjoyed it. It was tepid. It was thrilling. It was a really good all-time slasher. And it's very influential of something that pretty much started the slasher craze in the 80s, Halloween. And it reminds me a lot of each other with its slow burn, its, you know, killer hiding in the shadows, and it's really good kills, and it's not as gory. And then in 2006, the same guy that directed Final Destination 3 decided to remake this, but with a backstory showing the killer all the time and a lot more gore. Kind of reminds me of somebody who remade a other classic in 2009 with a backstory, gore, a lot more swearing, more nudity. Our homeboy Rob Zombie. You know, the remake of Black Christmas reminds me a lot of Rob Zombie's Halloween, especially with the backstory. Now, with the Rob Zombie's Halloween's backstory, he went into more of the psychosis of Michael and his buildup, and then his incarceration in that psychiatric home. But with Black Christmas, the backstory is really messed up. So, in the original Black Christmas, you never see Billy. You only see his eye through a hole, but he is killing most of the sorority sisters, especially with a bag. And you see that a lot in the Black Christmas remake. But I guess the way they wanted it is Billy is ostracized by his parents because he's yellow due to some kind of kidney disease, and he's pretty much just forced into the attic. And then they have a daughter because, I could say this delicately, so, incest. Doesn't that sound like something Rob Zombie would do? I mean, in Halloween, he did have, if you watch the director's cut, he does have that scene with those two rednecks and that poor woman in front of Michael, and then, you know, Michael escapes. So because of this scene, they have Agnes, and he ends up getting totally jelly because they're closer and he's all locked up. So he breaks out and takes out Agnes's eye. And, you know, spoilers if you haven't seen this, because I just watched this remake for the first time, so spoilers if you haven't seen it. He kills the dad and then kills his mom and then starts, it's so gruesome. And that's why I love it. I love the gruesome of it. He takes pieces of his mom, cooks it, and eats it with milk before he is arrested for murder. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. I was in shock when I first saw it. I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? Yeah, it's not quite the Christmas cookies we were expecting. Then, you know, the killings started happening in the sorority house where Billy lived with the you know, really, really beautiful women like Michelle Trachtenberg. They actually had Ruby, the final girl from season 3 of Supernatural. I found that pretty freaking awesome. Amazing. it was kind of funny to see her in something other than Supernatural or The Walking Dead. And then because the director directed Final Destination 3, you have the main girl from Final Destination 3 is some of the other victims. You know, you did that on purpose. You got to get the most pretty girls, you know, you get the eye candy. And I actually felt they did a pretty good job. It wasn't as bad acting as I heard. I mean, I get why people pan this movie because of the backstory and the gore. It's just not like the 90s. It felt just like most of the remakes in the 2000s that it was unnecessary. But I actually quite enjoyed it. I actually feel it's up there with like Wolfman and Fright Night and Friday the 13th and Rob Zombie's Halloween. You know, remakes that are clinically panned, but really are so out of sorts that it's fun because the kills are just like when they're trying to escape after they find all these bodies. That one of the shorty sisters gets killed in the car, and then the house mom gets killed with an icicle. It's brutal. It's just the kind of fun I have with a movie like this. You know, I mean, I get the hate, but like, it can't be as bad as 2019. I'm not going to see that. You'd have to pay me to see that. So that's just a completely different movie with nothing. I mean, at least the 2006 version is close to the original. The 2019 is just a slasher, PG-13 slasher, which can't all be all bad, like Driving to Hell, but just with the Black Christmas name. And I'd watch this. This is one that maybe I'd watch every year. I'm gonna have to somehow find it on Blu-ray or something. Because I watched it online. But I do really recommend this remake. If you see, the reason why I enjoy remakes more than most is because I didn't grow up with horror. Because my parents still aren't horror fans that understand why I'm a horror fan. And I just saw some remakes, in the late 2000s and really liked them and never realized that thought they were new horror movies. But yeah, I totally recommend this slasher to anybody who's looking for a fun, gory time with an interesting backstory to an old school slasher champion like Billy. He's looking for his sister Agnes, and I'm not going to give away everything and just go watch it. You guys have yourself a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm back, and if you guys have any suggestions of something you want me to talk about, put in the comments below and let me know. And I'll be back with a review again soon. This one will probably go up around Christmas because my editor takes his time. Michael Aragon does a fantastic job. I trust him completely. And yeah, let me know what you want me to cover next. Enjoy your holidays, guys.